What's up, bro? It's your boy, a guy named Ty, reporting live from another episode 22 of the MITM podcast. And today, the question is, can I become my own banker? Huh. Run the intro.
Caught up in them bright lights, lusting for shiny things that's golden. Everything ain't always what it seems, that it's soaking. Chasing my dreams, coming apart at my seams. Best believe that the money is the motive.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the MITM podcast. And like I said in the previous episode, I'm going to be reading to you guys from this amazing book called Becoming Your Own Banker, Unlock the Infinite Banking Concept by R. Nelson Nash. Now, I ran into this book about 5-6 years ago, and I've been studying everything about infinite banking. It's honestly the main reason why I even got into the insurance industry, because I thought this was so cool. It's like he's teaching you how to use $1, 2, 3, 4 times, right, while it's compounding. You see, I first experienced compounding when I was like in my early 20s. I started investing when I was 16 years old, doing a little $25 a week, $50 a week when I could, just a little bit here, a little bit there. And eventually, it grew to a certain point where I was getting like 10 to 14% return on my investment per year, and I saw it double. It went from $5,000 to $10,000. And I was like, holy shit. And I was so stupid because then I took $4,000 out and bought an electric bike. But within 3 years, it went back to $10,000. And then I watched it double again to $20,000. $20,000. And I didn't, at that point, I'm like, I've barely put in any money. What is happening? Unfortunately, the pandemic did hit. And I was trying to find ways to not spend my money that I'm watching compound. I was trying not to spend it, but I'm struggling. I had to shut down my gym. I have no money. The government's giving me a headache to get anything. And I started having to dip into that savings of, at the time, I think $22,000. I was excited to see it double again. Double one more time. I have my down payment on my house. What the hell? So from that lesson, I was looking for ways that I wouldn't have to go through that again, and ways to help my clients not go through that again. And I stumbled upon infinite banking. And I wish I knew just a little bit sooner. If I knew about this thing 2 years sooner, I would have moved all of my money into my infinite banking policy and taken out a loan, survived the pandemic, continue compounding, and still have a nice little nest egg right now. So we've been rebuilding that, and it's kind of crazy that it's growing faster than when I was younger, because now I it's not $25 a week I'm putting away. I mean, we're charging a nice penny for the courses we sell to the schools, but that's neither here nor there. I wanted to read to you guys about part 1 of becoming your own banker, and can I become my own bank? So I'm just gonna read from this book, and we're trying something a little bit new here, guys. A little new. Story time with Ty. So here we go. Part 1, becoming your own banker. Someone made the comment that if some authoritative power distributed all the money in the world equally among all the people in the world, within 10 years' time, 97% of all the money would be under the control of 3% of the people. I suppose that there's no way to ever measure the validity of such a statement, but I have the feeling that most people would agree that it's probably close to the truth. Even if the proportions were somewhat moderated, let's say 75% of the money would be under the control of 25% of the population. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that happens? Well, perhaps some of the answers lie in the fact that most folks don't know anything about the process of banking and its importance in their lives. Banking is the most important business in the world. Without it, all business comes to a screeching halt. Whenever a business transaction takes place, money must flow from one party to another in a relatively short time, or otherwise, nothing takes place. That flow of money must come from a supply source, a reservoir. That is the essence of what the banking business is all about. Someone or some organization has control of a pool of money that can and must flow at a cost to meet some need. There's only one pool of money in the world. The fact that this pool is managed by any number of institutions, banks, insurance companies, corporations, and individuals in various countries with various currency denominations is incidental. To argue otherwise would be the equivalent of someone looking at the globe and observing the Amazon River in South America flows into the Atlantic Ocean and commenting that this has nothing to do with the Indian Ocean on the other side of the globe. It's nonsense. It's all a part of a system. Observe that about 75% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. The sun heats it up and some of it evaporates into the atmosphere, causing wind currents. The currents take the water vapor around the Earth and it precipitates out in the form of rain, sleet, and snow. And somewhere along the way, some of it flows through you and me. Without it, we die. That makes it of vital importance. Pray tell, where does it end up? Right back into the ocean. The banking business is somewhat like that. Money flows from the pool through our hands to meet our needs. But somewhere in the process, it all ends up back in the banking system. It's all a matter of how much of the banking function do you control as it relates to your needs. Now, this book is all about how to create your own banking system so that you can control 100% of your needs, becoming your own banker. Give it your close attention, and it can make a radical improvement in your financial future. That's pretty wild. There's a pool of money. There's one pool of money. And when you are aware of that there's only one pool that everyone is sharing, everyone's drinking from that same water, what would you do differently in your life to ensure that you have more control over that pool? To ensure that your family has more control over that pool? And we're going to be exploring this over the next few days. This way, if something does happen, like the pandemic happened, or like how I had to stop my compounding from coming from a very poor neighborhood in Toronto, a little teenager just trying to save his money and put it aside and do the right thing and not fall into the easy money that's in my neighborhood. Having to eradicate that after years of scrimping and foregoing certain pleasures and going out with friends and spending whatever, having to forego that. This book and what we're going to explore over the next couple days is going to put the power back into your hands. I mean, it put the power back into my hands. I know I feel empowered. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's podcast. Tomorrow, maybe we read more from the book. Maybe we don't. We don't have tomorrow's session planned yet, but we'll see what it is. I think we're going to talk a little bit about fitness because our countdown to summer is about to start, baby. And I know you want to be beach body ready. So with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Give 'em that creme de la creme whenever I spit that hot shit.